Hello everyone, and welcome back to Coaster Island. Now today we are doing something very fun. We are building a new coaster for the park. Now you haven't seen a coaster since the first episode, so I am very excited to start building one here today. It's not going to be very scary, very big, very long. It's more of a intermediate teen coaster. It's got a couple good drops, some nice banks, and then we finish it off going back into the station. Like I said, it is not very long, but I wanted to incorporate a little bit of this area here just because it's a little bit obviously empty, but we are filling it all out with the coaster, and then we'll also do in the next coming episodes obviously more coasters to fill the area out and more decorating. But with that being said, welcome to Coaster Island. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. We are building a coaster island in a Western theme. Now just going along and smoothing all of the coaster itself, we do a little POV. We don't do a POV at the end of the coaster, but we do a POV of the walkthrough, I guess, of what we've built, because we've also built a town sort of settlement main street area, and there's obviously some food and shops, and it's all obviously in the theme of Western, which is very cool. But we will get to that once we've finished smoothing out this coaster, which apparently took 4 hours because I just finished now. But obviously I had to make sure it was all smooth, and it is. The smoothing tool, I've said it before, I'll say it again, the smoothing tool is phenomenal in this game. It works so well, especially on banked corners and just corners in general. It's just a really good tool that I'm glad they've incorporated into the game. The queue is a little bit of a weird queue. It's very long, but obviously I need it to be long because of the ride itself, because usually you will line up for a hot minute to go on coasters. So obviously if we're making it realistic, which we are in this park, we had to make sure that the path is, well, the queue is hella long, and we cut it up into little bits so you don't actually see how much you've got left, which is, you know, a little sneaky trick that theme parks do. So we've got the main path just there that sort of cuts down underneath the station itself, and then we've got the zigzag queue down on the floor, and then we've got another zigzag just in front of the main path before you get onto the queue. So there's sort of three lots of queues that are all lined up, and we do decorate them all in this episode as well. But for now we are going through and doing the coaster station itself. I didn't really have any sort of plans on how I wanted to make this coaster station look, so I sort of just go through, like I say every time, you just keep adding stuff until it looks good. And I think we got to a pretty good result in the end. Really, it looks Western, which is what I was going for. It's tidy, it's neat, it's got a bit of everything, and the guests love it. It's got a really good rating as well, which I wanted. Even though it is in sandbox mode, you don't really need to have any ratings. You can if you want, but I've turned all those settings off just because I like to just, you know, have fun with building and make it look good rather than worrying about what guests and what they think of it. But it does have a very good rating, which is lovely. Makes it all worthwhile. We are trying to hide as much of the queue itself, just because I don't really like the look of the queue lines. So apart from the zigzag ones on the floor, we obviously keep them and, you know, do a roof or whatnot. But for the ones that are near the station, we, yeah, as you can see, clearly cover it up a bit, make it look a little bit more realistic, just add a bunch of detailing, and it's sort of like an old little farmhouse, and out the front we do decorating and make it look sort of, yeah, like a rundown farmhouse or something like that, which I think it turns out very, very nice. We also do, like, for this little area of the path has sort of extended a bit, we obviously had to extend that, and then we ended up making sort of like a structure to make it look, I guess, like there's a structural stairwell that's been built or has been built in the past, and it's just, you know, run down and not looked after, so we add that there to cover up the corner. But I think it's coming along very nice indeed. If you guys did have any suggestions on anything as well, or thoughts, please let me know down below and I will get back to you. I'll try and incorporate it. So yeah, I look forward to hearing any of you guys' suggestions on anything I should build or should change how to build. I also realized that this terrain wasn't flat when doing the pathing, so it's sort of slightly downhill, which love that. You know, realized that when I was putting all of these fences in that I didn't really do the best job at leveling out beforehand, but that's okay. We make it work and it looks good in the end. We end up doing a nice little sign here calling it the ranch, because it's going to be like a little farmhouse, and I think it looks very nice indeed. It's you can't actually go in there, guests can't go in there, but we do add some paths in there just to add in some seating to make it look like obviously the person who's there or the caretaker can go out there, lives there, makes it look upkept, I guess. So he's able to sit there on his chair, look out over the water and all that jazz. So I think it looks very nice. We're going on the back end of the building now, just to sort of cover up the back end of it. Actually looks really good. And it also goes really well with green. So I don't really understand how green is a Western color, but it goes really good with browns, and obviously with the railing there, that's green as well, so that incorporates it. I guess it is just a very good color to have. So yeah, that's also incorporated here. You can see me doing the stairwell or whatever watchtower. It's not finished, but I think I will leave it not finished to make it look like it is not finished, if that makes sense. It's supposed to be like that, so I might just leave it, or I might add something else, who knows. But I think it looks pretty good. I was going to look for like a bell to put on there, but there wasn't really anything. Added in a little stairwell instead to make it look like it's not finished. So yeah, that's where that is. And then also I found these blueprints for these rocks here, and then I didn't realize then, but they are actually from the aquatic pack, and they're just the aquatic rocks but just change color. So you can't change the color with any other rocks apart from the aquatic rocks. So we'll definitely incorporate that a lot more into the park. Now I know that you're able to change the color of them, which is super cool. It makes it obviously look a lot more realistic with the brown and all that. So yeah, we'll be adding lots of them in. But right here, we're sort of doing a retaining wall, you could say, with this pathway here, because it cuts down into the terrain. The coaster cuts down into the terrain here. So I wanted to make it look, obviously, one, structurally in sound. And then two, obviously make a nice little guardrail and make it look realistic, because obviously people are going to be walking along here, and then you'll be on the coaster and you'll be able to see, not that you'll be able to see too much because you are going quite fast. It is the first drop of the coaster, but nonetheless, I wanted to make sure that it was, realistic. So yeah, we put the wall all the way down. If I could go back, I'd probably do one section of wall with one section of the guardrail, and then just copy and paste all of that rather than going back and building all of it separately, because it does take a little bit longer. put in some bins and some seating areas. Maybe we'll put that on the other side of the path here, just so the guests are able to sit and watch, because it is a very cool little area. You've got, yeah, the drop down into the canyon there. I guess we might actually extend it and make it like a big Grand Canyon, if you will. So I think that would be a cool little idea to do. So we might do that, and yeah, extend it all the way out, and even put some like water at the very bottom to make it look sort of like a you're in a drought, if you will. Path and the railing area just here. We do add a roof to that little path section there, just to add a little bit of, you know, dynamics and realism, because it's obviously going to be hot and sunny in the desert or in the Wild West. So we had to, yeah, make sure it's adequate for shading. And now you can see me here changing around these little buildings and adding some stalls in them so the guests can obviously use them. Not working out for me at all, so we had to completely rearrange that, but I am getting better with doing pathing and making it pretty much suit what I want. So we, yeah, fixed that all and make it work, and I think that little area there looks good. We also add some seating into the, I guess, the big building there, just so guests are able to use it, because I do want guests to be able to sort of use most buildings in this park rather than just having them as decorative pieces. I do want, yeah, to make sure that they can actually use them and are functional. So we will add shops and or seating, or, you know, vending machines or something in the building, so yeah, guests are able to go in and check it out. So yeah, finishing off the railings that go all the way around this area. We'll also change the actual path to I think it's a cobblestone, because I think that looks the best for what I'm wanting. And then we will do a little bit more yeah, see, you're able to change the colors. So I sort of only realized that then. I was like, oh damn, this is the game changer. Why can't you do these to all of them? But yeah, it's just the aquatic ones, which is a little bit annoying, but that's okay. It'll work in the end. We'll get it there. And then yeah, this is the nice little seating area. Adding in some picnic tables and some vending machines, so guests are able to use it and sit out and look out over the water, which I think is a really nice touch. And then my favorite part of probably not just this area, but just in general, is decorating it with foliage, because I love a good foliage like, oh, it just makes it look so much better, and it ties everything in, and it just makes it look great. So yeah, we go around now and add in a bunch of decorative work and just keep doing some little detailing to make it sort of pop. So yeah, if you're ever not sure, just keep building until you're happy. Keep adding things, like, yeah, I'm just adding foliage and bushes and all that sort of stuff, and then you can see me change the pathing itself to make it a little bit darker, a nice cobblestone, which I think looks really well. And now we are on to sort of the final bit of doing the queue station, or the queue line, making that look all nice and detailed and, you know, intriguing for the guests waiting in line for probably, I reckon it's probably going to be like an hour and a half line. Doing the logs to sort of cover up this, I guess you could call it the hideous sidewalk of the path. I don't know if you can change that, but we cover it up with the logs, and then also, I guess, the little horse tie down stables, or whatever they call it, the little path. I don't even know what they are, but these little wood things. So we cover all them up and try our best to, yeah, cover everything up, make it look nice, shade throughout the queue, just to make sure, yeah, the guests, because you can actually get sunburnt in this game. I've turned it off, but the guests can get sunburnt and, I guess, faint from heat stroke, which is a very nice touch, but yeah, we turned that off. But I still wanted to make sure that it was adequately prepped for the sun. So yeah, we made sure that there was enough shade, and then there's also all the detailing that's going on inside under the station itself where the queue goes, so we had to cover all that up. There is still the over the head beams that are being shown, but I quite like them. It adds character, it looks good against a wooden building, so we leave that in, and it looks good for when you do walk in there. So yeah, here I am just finishing up doing the shading for this little area, make it nice little, obviously safe to have the railing there. And yeah, that's coming up to the end of this, but I will leave you with a lovely POV. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.